Hello, welcome to the Blessed and Still Standing Women Empowerment Show. I'm your host, Minister Linda Gallishaw. It is truly a blessing to be back here one more time, knowing that the joy of the Lord is our strength, and knowing that God has allowed us to see a brand new year, 2018. We just give God the honor and the praises right now for allowing us to see yet another year. Amen. On today's show, we'll be talking about turning storms of life into success. And today we have a special guest with us. She's going to come on and she's going to share some of her stories and testimonies of how she turned storms of life into success. So will you help me welcome Mrs. Tahara Millette?
Thank
Welcome.
you for having me.
It was a pleasure for you to be on our show today. Can you please just tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Tahara Millette. I'm married with one son, and I'm an educator here in Sumter, South Carolina.
Wow, wow. Well, once again, we thank you for coming on to the show, and we're gonna get straight into the show. The show is about storms of life. Can you share with us some of the storms of life that you had, maybe in your childhood, young adult age?
One of the stories I have as a young adult or child was me being a burn victim and me being bullied by people because of it. Growing up in my neighborhood or going to school, I was bullied and taunted and teased because of the scars that I had on my face and on the rest of my body.
Okay, okay. So I'm quite sure that affected you, a whole lot. Was there anything else that you would consider being a storm of life?
Another thing probably would be me, my brother, and my sister. We were in foster care for a couple of years, so that was kind of a storm being away from our parents or the rest of our family and being in foster care.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So give us some input, okay, about the bullying part. I mean, how did it really affected you?
It affected my self esteem because, like I said, I was teased and taunted by people that I thought were friends and in the same neighborhood as me and going to school with me. And it bothered me. And then I started putting that negative energy into reading and writing my
Hmm.
thoughts down and setting goals for myself.
Okay, okay. And you said you was in foster care. Was it long term, temporarily?
It was just temporary. We were in there for almost 2 years.
Okay, okay. And how did that affect you?
Um, it was a bad thing because we were away from our parents, away from our family for that amount of
Hmm.
time. But it was also a good thing because of our foster parents, who we call our grandfather and our grandmother. They were good people. They were in the church. My grandfather, he was a pastor, so we kind of,
Wow.
got into church and started building relationships with God because of that.
Okay, okay. So doing the things that you went through, the being bullied because of being a burnt victim in foster care, um, as you grew older, would it made you push a little harder to set goals for yourself? Because I mentioned you said something about you had to learn how to set goals for yourself.
Yeah, it did because when your self esteem is low, you thinking that okay, you can't do this, you can't do that, but sometimes you have to pick yourself up, and
Mhm.
that was one of my ways of picking myself up by setting goals for myself and what I want to do in life.
Okay. And you also mentioned that how you turn stuff negative into positive. Share with us some, maybe one or two things that how did you turn the negative into positive?
Like I mentioned before, I used to read a lot. I still read a lot and write a lot, and so I
Mhm.
put all my feelings into reading and writing, which also kind of tied in to me wanting to be an educator.
Okay, okay. Um, so if um, that all the stuff that you had to endure in your lifetime, as a childhood, and like you said, it pushed you to the next level,
Mhm.
and evidently you're sitting here, so you're at the next level. But is there anything that you want to share with our viewers who maybe have gone through some of the similar things and encourage them a little bit about, just not giving up?
Never give up. Set goals for yourself, and like I said before, I built a relationship with God, so I knew how to pray, and I depend on that a lot. I
Mhm.
depend on God. I depend on positive people to be around me. If you don't have positive people around you, then you need to kind of let those people go and build relationships with people that will encourage you.
Okay, okay. Good advice and good encouraging words. So as you continue your education, you graduated from high school, then you went straight on to college.
I didn't go straight to college. I worked for a little while, and then once I started working, I started thinking about the goals that I set for
Hmm.
myself, and I decided to enroll in college. And that was years after I graduated from high school.
Okay, okay. So did you work? Did you work while you was going to college as well? You said.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. How was that hard for you to do?
It was hard at first because I was working full time and going to school full time. So I decided to leave my job and find a part time job while I went to college because I still wanted to be enrolled full time.
Okay, okay. So have you ever looked back over your past and thought about your past and it made you even push even harder?
It did. Looking at my past, it made me go harder and set goals, keep setting goals, keep striving to be the best me that I can be.
Okay, okay. And you said you write a lot of stuff down and put it on papers. Do you ever go back and read that what you put on paper, or you just
I do. I do. I save a lot of stuff that I have written, and sometimes I go back and look at it and read back over it, and just thank God that
Mhm.
that I moved on and didn't let my past dictate me.
There you go, there you go. A lot of time we when we write stuff out, and be able to go back and read it, it gives you extra little strength, extra little push that, okay, I'm moving forward. And that's a great thing. And we learning today how she moved forward. She didn't allow, like she said, her past to dictate her future, to hold her down, that she kept pushing and she kept going. So once you now you say you're in the education,
Hmm.
um, is that your final step? Stop here, or you want to go further and do other stuff?
Yeah, like I said, I try to set goals as much as I can for myself. The next stop is my EDS, which I'm
Hmm.
currently enrolling in classes now, and that is for administration because eventually I want to be either an assistant principal or a principal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, you already knew what your goal was to be an educator. Was that your first choice, or?
I knew that I wanted to work with kids because at first I enrolled in a program that would kind of help me um, run my own daycare.
Hmm.
But then I switched programs and I said that, okay, I'm going to education. And also, I had in the back of my mind to be a writer. So now I'm currently trying to write a book.
Wow. What is the book about? If you mind me asking?
The book is about my point of view of me being in foster care, even though it was me, my brother, and my sister, is told in my words.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. And once again, that is something that you doing positive to encourage someone else, and to let them know that, even though you was in foster care, you had, like you said, you had great foster parents, and that's a good thing there itself. And they
Hmm.
um, being your foster father being a pastor to
Hmm.
get that relationship with God. So would you consider having a personal relationship with God help you even more?
Yes. My personal relationship with God is awesome. I talk to Him daily. I pray daily. I ask questions. I try my best to listen to Him so that I can follow what He wants for me instead of
Mhm.
me following what I want for myself.
Okay, okay, that sounds good. So going to college and with the finance part or whatever, he was able to continue to go through it.
Hmm.
But what if someone's out there thinking that let them just share it with your viewers
Hmm.
today how important education is.
Education is very important, and don't be discouraged if you want to go to college. Don't think it's too late to go to college because some people they'll get in up in age and they feel like, okay, well, I'm too old to go to college. You're never too old. It's never too late. So if you feel like that's what you want to do, just go for it. Even if it's taking a couple of classes, just
Hmm.
go for it.
There you go. Go for it. That's what she's letting us know today, that we gotta keep going. You gotta go for it and reach your goals, and don't allow your past to hold you back.
Mhm.
Miss Millette, if you can share with us now, we know the positive thing of that everything turned out for your success.
Mhm.
Who do you give credit to for where you're at today?
Um, so many people, especially first of all, God, because if it wasn't for Him, then I don't know where I'll be. Um, my parents, of course, my um foster parents, which I call my grandparents, my grandma and my grandfather, and also my dear aunt Linda Gallishaw, right sitting right here. I thank her too, and just having good people around me. Like my husband, he always encouraged me to do my best. So that's who I give credit to.
Amen, amen. And like she said, first, we give all the credit and the glory belongs to God. But when we go through what we go through, God has a way of putting positive people into our lives, and when He put these positive people in our life, they instill stuff in us. They allow us to give enough courage and strength just to keep going and keep going forth. And we just thank Miss Millette today that she kept going.
Mhm.
That you out here being an educator, soon to be author. I mean, you're doing all this positive stuff where you didn't allow your past to just hold you down and to put how can I say it to you didn't allow your past to determine your future.
Mhm.
You kept going, you kept pushing. So
Mhm.
we learned today that, storms of life can turn into success. It does not mean that because what you went through in your past or your childhood that you can't have a greater future, because that's what God wants for us. He wants
Mhm.
us to have a great future.
Mhm.
And we thank Him today for your future. And
Mhm.
we thank Him today for, we also have to think of the bad thing that we go through,
Yeah.
because it takes those things to get us where we at today.
Mhm.
So is there anything else that you wanted to tell the viewers today about turning their storms of life into success, or anything that you want to discuss or just share with us?
In life, you're gonna have a lot of storms, but I say to you, don't get discouraged. Storms come at me every day. They probably not big, something small, but just keep praying, keep uplifting yourself because that's the main thing. Uplift yourself. If nobody else is going to lift you up, lift yourself up. Tell yourself you can do it, you can get through it, and make sure that you keep God first.
And also, as well as you said, that being a burnt victim and having low self esteem, what if someone's out there going through the same thing right now? What would you tell that person?
Burn victims or anyone going like any scars or anything that's on the outside. Be beautiful on the inside. Don't knock people down because of how you feel about yourself. Encourage yourself, lift yourself up because you're beautiful on the inside. Let it shine from within. Let it shine on the outside also.
You have it, there you have it. And Miss Millette, I would like to personally say, um, you're beautiful inside and out. And I thank you for coming on the show to share your testimony with us. I know it probably was not easy, but we just thank God for that. And I want you to know that you're beautiful on the inside as well as on the outside. That, sometimes we figure our scars are to defeat us, but our scars are here. Sometimes it makes us.
Mhm.
So we just thank you today that you chose to come onto the show and share some good advice and some encouraging words to let people know that no matter what they go through, there's greater coming their way. So we thank you once again for being on the show. And today on the show, have you ever heard Mrs. Millette spoke to us about storms of life turning into success? My last word to you is just remember what she said. Turn the negative into positive. You can make it. Be around positive people that want to encourage you, that want to uplift you. And that's what this show is about, uplifting and encouraging someone. So on today, my prayer is that this show have encouraged you, have uplifted you. And know that what's on the outside doesn't matter, but what's on the inside. Get around positive people. Set your goals. Know that you can make it. Don't allow your past to determine your future. Let your past push you further to your future because you can get there. And as our special guest is here today, share with us, she's there. So we just want to say thank you and God bless you. and have a great and wonderful week.